Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again. A very tired Toogie here, back again, but nonetheless, this is Draft to Glory, and let's get right down to business. Now, the last episode, we ended at the beginning of the re-sign phase, and I went ahead and completed the off-season because there were quite a few trades I had to make, and it would have been very time-consuming for the episode. But let me get you a look at the moves that we made. We ended up getting quite a few draft picks back in return. Toby Clancy sent to Chicago, as was Stefan Vermette. 2 deals with Edmonton, Ola Ekman and Nathan Spencer off to the Oilers, as well as Sergei Nazarov and Craig Miura. Man, I made a lot of deals with Edmonton. Miura was the enforcer that we drafted. It might disappoint quite a few people that I let go of him, but we had to do it. Jorg Ronkel sent to Carolina as far as AHL defensemen go. He and Todd Janes were our top D pairing last year in Hershey. I decided to give the ice time to, truer prospects, as those guys are pretty much locked in at 80 overall AHL level players. The big trade, though, Jake Ottinger sent to Montreal for a second-round pick. A risky move for sure, but he has still struggled in the past few seasons. He did the job for us before we drafted Stephen Quirk and before Quirk was ready for prime time. But Marion Saget will be the backup goaltender, and we'll see what he can do this season as you get a look at the team. Now, there are quite a few moves that I could have made with this team, not just with trades, but with player types. Of course, you'll notice I finally changed Andrei Svechnikov to a left wing, and you get a look at his attributes. Power forward is a possibility. Sniper, as he has been, is a possibility, and it's what we've kept him with. Nolan Patrick, you could change him to anything, but I'm not going to bother. We'll keep him a power forward. Same with Yuri Hadobin. You could argue to switch him to a sniper, which we could very well do, but he has had a 40-goal season despite being a playmaker, so I'm content with leaving him there. We have some other players as well, of course, that would have that would fit the bill for multiple player types. Ross Winquist as well. Finally switched him to a two-way. We'll see what he can do this season. Defensively, quite a few changes. Kim Wheating, we have changed to an offensive defenseman. Ken Janes to a two-way. And a couple of these other guys, Manulin from a two-way to a defensive D-man. It's the same problem you typically have in one of my series, where you have certain players that could just, be multiple different player types. Whether or not it matters, who knows? Their attributes are the same regardless, so it is tough to say. The AHL, of course, looking pretty damn different because of all of those deals. Getting some younger players into the lineup that actually have some decent potentials. Guys, let's do this. Let's start the sim. Like I said, I didn't want to take up too much time. Obviously, having to make all of those moves and set the lines would have been very time consuming, so it just made sense to do it off screen. And now we can get into the sim. What will this season bring? That is, of course, the question. I don't even want to talk about last season, or the year before that, or the year before that, for that matter. But the goal this year, pretty obvious: get past the second round, something the real-life Washington Capitals struggle to do. It'll be interesting. Will the Caps make it beyond the second round before 2029? That is the real question. But I do want to mention, as I said off the top, I am pretty damn tired. I had an interesting day that I'm not going to go into too much detail about. But let's just say I was walking the dog and witnessed a car accident. So today's been great. Today's been amazing. But it was at the point where I was really struggling to find the motivation to record this. But it's just something I had to do. Something I had to do rather than just sitting here and just, how do you even explain that? Like, oh, here, let's comprehend what I saw. And I'm not saying it was like super violent or gory or anything. I actually don't even know what happened to the driver of the vehicle. But like I said, walking my dog at the time, she freaked the hell out. So it's like, all right, let's just go home. Let's not sit here and really find out what the hell went down. So it's interesting to witness something like that and then to get home and realize, oh shit, that person might be dead. Not fun. But like I said, rather than sitting here thinking about that, I would much rather focus on this, the video making process and such, and to continue this series. I honestly didn't want to bring that up, but it's on my mind, and I would have, I would have talked about it at some point in this episode, because once again, I don't have too much to talk about. The only thing I planned on talking about with this video was, I was talking to a buddy of mine that I play club with, and we were talking about YouTube in general. And towards the start of YouTube, of course, or, with my channel, not the start of YouTube, but towards the start of my channel, of course, I put out, a couple of tutorial videos, and it's tough because I stopped making tutorials because I didn't have, beyond like basic positioning and stuff like that, which I feel like I can describe really well, and it is helpful. Beyond that, a lot of stuff about the gameplay in NHL 17 is kind of a crapshoot, as I've said before, with the puck pickups the way they are, and, there's been the whole debate, some of you might have seen, many YouTubers, giving their 2 cents about the realism versus arcade style debate. And the reason I haven't made tutorials is because I can't with confidence say, on a lot of subjects that, oh, if you do this, you'll improve as a player. A lot of the game, I mean, there is skill involved, obviously. But there are some games where no matter what the hell you do, you're simply going to lose. That's the way this game is sometimes. So I've never had, I haven't had the confidence to make tutorials in quite a while because I don't genuinely believe what I'd be saying. I can't say for sure, oh, do this and you'll be a better player and you'll win more consistently. You might be a more skillful player, but that doesn't always translate to wins. So that discussion I had with a buddy of mine was more along the lines of, I'd love to make tutorials to help influence the game and the way the game is played, but I don't have confidence in the way the game plays right now. But it's not going to improve in ways I think I could, in ways I think it could, unless I make tutorials. Do you kind of get what I'm saying here? So I don't have confidence to make tutorials because of the current state the game is in, but I don't think the current state will change unless you have people like me making tutorials saying, hey, this should change. It's a hell of a dilemma. It really is. But who knows, maybe as we approach NHL 18, the gameplay will be in at least a more consistent state. That's really the big issue with it, is I just can't say for sure, because some games, whether it's EA SHL or Ultimate Team, you'll outshoot somebody 6-1. You'll outshoot them. I mean, you'll just absolutely dominate them and you'll lose by 3 goals. That's just the way it is. So, I've been putting a lot of thought into that, and I really started thinking about that too after talking about the Be a Pro series and how I don't have all that much fun playing against the AI in this game. Definitely putting a lot of thought. Now that we've had that first reveal trailer for NHL 18, I've been putting a ton of thought into what I want NHL 18 to be for this channel, what type of videos I want to make for you guys. Of course, Ultimate Team's going to be a thing, franchise mode's going to be a thing. I would assume Be a Pro. Maybe, I'm not as certain, EA SHL will make a return on my channel. I at least plan on it. So it's interesting, but more often than not, if I have something to talk about specifically with the gameplay, I tend to do it in a video like this, which might not be the best way to handle it. But I don't know, it's tough to be like, oh, here's how to rag the puck in Division 1 hut to avoid getting poke checked every 3 seconds. And even then, some people can just get away with poke check spamming for the entire game and not take a penalty, no matter how good at puck ragging you are. It's that kind of thing. That was really the only thing I had to talk about coming into this video. But we are already in January, halfway through January, with a winning record so far. Hershey's still doing okay. Obviously not going to do as well as they did last season unless Marmanland really stands on his head. But it'll be interesting to see what Marion Saget's stats are for this year. I do wonder, though, tutorial-wise, because I had tutorials based on offensive and defensive positioning for a basic system, a basic fundamental system as opposed to anything special. And I still completely stand by that video although, you know, I've obviously gotten, I'd say, at least a tiny bit better at making videos since then, and, you know, the technical aspect of things. But, like I said, aside from that, I'm not even sure at the moment what I could really even talk about. And that's the problem. And the other thing was, you know, oh, well, I'm surprised. Someone said that, oh, I'm surprised you didn't make a wish list video or a what I want to see in NHL 18 video. And if I were to do that, it would have been much earlier, because at this point, everything for NHL 18 is pretty much locked in. They're not going to be adding anything else. If anything, they'll be subtracting, which is what we saw when they had to cut the entrance props with EA SHL. They're still a thing, but you'll never see your team actually walk through them, so in a way, they're kind of pointless. Nothing at this stage in June is going to be added to the game, so to me, it was a little bit pointless to make a video like that. I mean, I talk about in a ton of videos what I'd like to see added, and, you know, whether it is for EA SHL and what I think they could change with that. Ultimate Team, most of my complaints with Ultimate Team, of course, come with the interface and simply just different functionalities that you could, you know, you could improve the functionality of the entire interface for Ultimate Team, and I'll always compare it to FIFA and how much how much better it is and how much more streamlined it is. And you'll see a ton of players with similar complaints. It's just kind of a common one. With franchise mode, I talk about it all the time, whether it's the way the scouting works, the draft, the free agent system, trading, and its difficulty. I mean, there's a laundry list, but nothing I say now is going to be changed before NHL 18 launches. So, if I were to have made one of those videos, it would have been quite a while ago, unfortunately. Or not unfortunately, but I don't know, just didn't have the motivation to make that kind of video, really. I don't know, maybe now I would have had the motivation, you know, obviously recently getting into the content creator program, maybe having a bit more of a voice. I mean, it's not like I can just be like, oh, hey, Rammer, do this, and this, and this. Make this game in my image. Like, it's not like I can do that, even if I was in the Game Changers program, which I'm currently not, although, hey, that'd be pretty sweet one day. Even if I was in, you know, that spot, it's not how it works. You know, I can't just make demands to EA. But, and I mean, geez, whether it's the rosters too, I mean, there's so much. So, right now, a lot of my thoughts are going into, you know, what are my series for NHL 18 going to be? What kind of videos do I want to provide? Of course, as well, what is NHL 18 actually going to be? It's just at this state, or at this stage, sitting here, and just like all of you guys, waiting for those further details. Those first details are going to be the key. Of course, there was a lot of controversy over the reveal trailer, but it was a reveal trailer. It was never going to be more than it actually was. And then, of course, you know, at the NHL Awards, you have the next trailer coming up, which, again, don't expect much from that trailer. You guys really shouldn't. The reveal, or not the reveal trailer, but the first, like, real trailer last year, what happened to that video? It ended up being the intro video that you see every time you load up NHL 17. So that's the type of video that you should expect to be revealed at the NHL Awards. If it's anything different, then cool, that's awesome. But that is what you should expect based on the history, that, you know, based on EA's track record. After that is when we'll start getting, you know, the articles that detail certain additions and changes and stuff like that. So, still, I feel like we're a little bit away from, you know, really getting some strong information about NHL 18, but I'm not concerned like a lot of people are. There was a point, like, and this, of course, was a conversation that everybody had before the reveal trailer launched out of nowhere. You know, there were people who were legitimately concerned about, oh my god, are they, like, what is this, an NHL 15 situation where the development of the game has just taken 16 steps back? And there was a lot of talk about whether or not that was a good move on EA's part. I will say, you know, you know what, it's just, It is what it is. It is what it is. Whether or not the trailer launched yesterday or 2 months ago, I don't think it would have mattered. I do disagree with them allowing, certain speculation to go on. But overall, I'm just happy that we're that much closer to NHL 18, and I can't wait to see what they've added to the game. Am I getting my hopes up? And should I avoid doing that? Maybe. But I don't know. We'll see. If anything, I'm not even so much worried about like the video game side of the NHL. I'm still primarily focused on the expansion draft and stuff like that. I'm really not all that concerned about the video game at the moment. We'll find out more information throughout the summer. It's June. The game comes out the second Tuesday of September typically. So I'm not all that concerned. But what I am concerned about, as we pay attention to this game, Yuri Khudobin has an MCL sprain that's keeping him out until May 3rd, which means we won't get him back until the second round of the playoffs. Well, I hope you guys are ready for the draft. Because we're going to be there very, very shortly. In a way, I felt kind of good about this video so far. Things were going all right. I managed to discuss some things that I wanted to discuss. Maybe not as intelligently as I wanted to, but again, that plays in to just being tired. I mean, there's so much detail that goes into a lot of the conversations and the stuff and a lot of the topics that I've brought up in this video in regards to NHL 18 and what I want to do with my channel. And then we lose arguably our best player for the first round of the playoffs, which I am assuming will make the playoffs at this rate. 43 wins so far. You'd think that would be good enough. Of course, I haven't checked. And there you have it. It is official. We have qualified for the playoffs, but without Yuri Khudobin, I think we're right back to a first-round exit. We'll find out. We will find out, but I'm not expecting a whole hell of a lot as we lose 5-2 to the Bruins on the final day of the season, and let's find out who's it going to be, and it is a rematch against Andrew Tamora and the Carolina Hurricanes. Well, this time out we have home ice advantage, but without Yuri Khudobin, I think we're pretty much dead in the water here, guys. It's over before it starts. Let's take a look, and obviously you would have seen Nolan Patrick's numbers declined quite a bit. We finished with 97 points, tied with Carolina again, but we had them beat on the tiebreaker. We finished with the 7th best record in the NHL. Goals for per game. I actually didn't even see where the hell we were. What are we, middle of the road? We're actually towards the bottom of the league somewhat. Yeah, we are towards the bottom of the league somewhat. And then goals against per game is a 2.46, which is actually pretty good. 4th lowest goals against average in the league. Not too bad. Our power play, 18% is decent. Our penalty kill, 84%. Also decent, but again, without Khudobin, I think we're pretty much boned. Let's take a look, though, at our stats from this year. Nolan Patrick down to just 74 points, 72 for Svechnikov, 63 for Yuri Khudobin. Rudy Yell at 49 points. Winquist up to 48, not too bad. Johansson with 43. Wheating only 35 points as an offensive defenseman is a little bit concerning. Ahonen with 34 points. Sontag with 32. And you got to look at everyone else's numbers. We'll take a look at the goaltending to see how Marian Saget did. Cork played 64 games, finished with a 9.26, and Marian Saget really stepped up a 9.23 in his 22 appearances. I don't really regret trading Ottinger, at least not at this stage. So I'm going to be very happy to have that second round pick. As we get a look at the scoring leaders in the NHL, Vitaly Volchenkov, the 6th overall pick from the 2023 draft, a low elite, reaches a 91 overall, and also scored 91 points this year. Joey Walton, 89 points. Joshua Norris, 87. Kip Alcock with an 89. And Riley Ness with an 83. An off year for Riley Tufte. Only 79 points. I say only. That's still a pretty damn decent total. But guys, we're back in the playoffs. We managed to get through the season pretty damn quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're up against. I'm not expecting too many major changes from the Hurricane squad, but it's at least worth double checking. 93, 90, and 92 for their ratings. And let's see exactly what we are up against here. As I'm trying to think if I made all my points as decisively as I wanted to in regards to certain things, but you know what? I just got to move on. I think you guys would have gotten my point. But as we got to look at the team, it's 96 overall Tamora back on the top line with Cristobal Nieves and Abraham Duda. We have Nicholas Bonks with Julius Natainen and David Pasternak, who's healthy this time out. Dylan Curry with Brock Jocelyn and Timo Meyer. The fourth line, Gabriel Landeskog, Lucas Sawatsky, and Corey Coyle. On defense, you have Miro Heiskanen with Rasmus Ristolainen, Tony Lawrence with Justin Falk, and Zayat Paigin with Bob Miora. The goaltender is still Thatcher Demko with Cole Tucker as the backup. No injuries. They have Billy Polka scratched, Jorg Ronkel is scratched, and Ola Johansson as a scratched player as well. So let's get into this, shall we? Playoff time again with the Caps. I refuse to get excited about this until we at least make it past Carolina. Get back to the second round, prove to me that it might actually be a series, and then you'll have my attention, Washington. So let's do this. Let's do this. Game one of the opening round, first period. Let's go, and that's a good start. Andrei Svechnikov was a hell of a performer for us last year. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up this time out. Second period, scoreless. We take the 1-0 lead into the third period, and it doesn't last too much longer. Gabriel Landeskog on the fourth line with the goal. We are all tied up. Halfway through the third period, next goal could very well win the series for their team. We will find out. And at this stage, I'd say that's a certainty. Are we going to overtime in the first game? Yes, we are. Right, let's go. Overtime against Carolina. Can we get the winner, please? Or will Carolina neutralize our home ice advantage immediately? No, they will not. The power play goal for Andrei Svechnikov. What a beast he is in the postseason. 32 saves for Steven Quirk. 2 goals for Svechnikov. 2 assists for Ken Janes as well. And the Caps take game one. Carolina continuing to struggle for the moment. I don't want to jinx it, but they are continuing to struggle for the moment against this Washington team. All right, we'll jump right into game two, and no need to make any changes. Again, we won't see Yuri Khudobin again this season unless we make it to the second round. So let's hope that happens, shall we? First period here of game two, and it's a goal apiece. Wenquist scored 58 seconds in, but Nieves ties the game. Second period, and again, goal apiece. Another early goal. Rudy Yell puts us back on top, but then Dylan Curry, I believe his name was, ties this game up again. We only have 14 shots through 2 periods, but we are tied. Let's see. Let us see if we can turn it around here in the third period. Let's go. Come on now. All we need is one more. Steven Quirk can shut the door from here. He's done that so far. We only have 2 shots this period still. Finally, we get a third. Carolina shutting us down. Steven Quirk shutting the door. And we are not going to overtime. You know what? I'm not even mad. We deserved to lose that game. Being outshot 43-20. Steven Quirk did everything he could to keep us in that game. We deserved to lose. Flat out. Quirk should have been the first star of the game. I don't care. I don't care if he gave up 3 goals. He should have been the first star of the game. He is the only reason that game was close. And Carolina finally beats us. It took them 6 tries dating back to last year. And they have neutralized our home ice advantage by winning game 2. Series is tied as we begin game 3. Let's see if we can get that win back. Hershey not in the playoffs. I am not surprised. So the focus stays solely on the NHL roster. First period here of game 3. Johansson with the opening goal. Not too shabby. Outshot them 13-5. That is a good reversal of fortune. Second period, scoreless, surprisingly. And that sets up the third. Let's go. Let's go. I'd prefer that we at least get some sort of insurance here. That would be great. That would be great. Power play opportunity. A really long power play opportunity. My God, we couldn't do anything with it. Under 5 minutes to go. Can Steven Quirk shut the door? Yes, he can. Ola Eriksson, you scared me, buddy, but it's an empty netter. And a 27-save shutout with the 2-0 victory in Game 3. Steven Quirk stepping up. Cole Tucker was actually between the pipes, not Thatcher Demko. We'll double check here to see if he was injured. But we are back on top in this series with a 2-1 series lead. Let's go ahead and take a look. It could have just been one of those single game injuries, and judging by the goaltending rating for the Hurricanes, I'm going to guess that was the case and that Thatcher Demko was only out for that game. And indeed, that is the case. He'll be back between the pipes. He's now 34 years old, by the way. Damn. Every once in a while, I see someone's age in this series, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're like 12 seasons into this or something crazy like that. But let's go. Game 4, a huge opportunity here for us in Carolina. First period. Well, so much for that huge opportunity. Tamora and Bonks with the goals. Outshot 14-5. And we're down 2-0 after the opening 20 minutes. Second period. Yep, this game's over. David Pastrnak makes it 3-0. I really should just hit the B button, although Moroza gets a goal back, which is nice. Power play for Carolina that they couldn't convert on. We do still have time. We're halfway through the third. If we can get another quick one here, the power play could help, and indeed it does. Andrei Svechnikov, come on. We have another power play. Please, damn it. And we never get the goal anyway. It's Wojcicka. Please, hold on. Make it to overtime. Thank God. Oh my God. Well, I didn't expect that. I'm sure you didn't either. What a comeback. Just when it looked like all hope was lost because of the David Pastrnak goal, the Caps fight back. Moroza, Svechnikov, and Wojcicka. And that gets us to overtime. We were heavily outshot once again. Can we steal this game in OT? Let's find out. Will it end early? Early power play chance for the Canes is killed off. They get another one. That's killed off too, and a third one. Will the third time be the charm? No, it won't. Oh my God, Ross Winquist just scored. Are you kidding me? You know what? Again, I can't be too excited. We should make it past the first round. That's amazing. What an amazing comeback. Down 3-0. We get 3 goals in the third period and win in overtime. And again, I'd sound more excited if I wasn't so tired, and I apologize for that. But let's take a look at the penalties here. You had the holding minor on Ola Eriksson. Johansson with a cross-checking minor. Sontag, or Zontag, I should say, with a fighting major. And then Manulin with the slashing penalty. Somehow we survived that. And we were able to win this game. And we have a 3-1 series lead as we head back to Washington. We head back home for Game 5. Let's do this. By the way, I cannot believe how quickly we made it through the regular season. That was fantastic. But let's go. It is Game 5. Can we close out the series right here and right now? Let's find out. First period. It's a goal apiece. And of course, the 2 best players, the 2 stars, Andrew Tamora and Nolan Patrick. In a perfect world, we'd see a Capitals logo next to both of their names, but that is not the case. We're tied at 1 at the end of the first. Second period is scoreless, and it comes down to this third period. The Canes season could end right here, and right now, all we need is 1. All we need is 1 goal that could end this series. Patrick, Svechnikov, maybe some secondary scoring. Power play for the Canes is killed off. 2 minutes to go. And again, we go to overtime. My God, we love our overtimes. Let's do it. OT against the Canes. Will the series end right here and right now? 5 minutes into the overtime. Power play for the Canes is killed off, and man, this is ridiculous. Are we going to double overtime, or will it end? It will end. Ken Janes answers the question. And for the second consecutive year, the Washington Capitals have eliminated the Carolina Hurricanes. What a performance from Stephen Quirk. Again, just the Carolina Hurricanes kryptonite. And we're moving on. Second round, here we come. 2 consecutive trips to the second round, or consecutive trips to the second round. That would be the proper way to say it, but meh. Who needs to be specific about it? And a chance at redemption. We have an issue with the Devils, who kicked us out of the postseason in our first trip. We have an issue with the Flyers. We have an issue with the Penguins. And we have an issue with the New York Islanders. And we get a chance at revenge. The Islanders went to 6 games in the first round. I actually don't know who they played. I'm assuming... Actually, it's tough to say because they were in the Atlantic bracket, I do believe. Pittsburgh against Detroit in the second round as well. We are moving on, though, and there's a chance that we'll get Yuri Khudobin back, which is pretty damn sweet. Pretty damn sweet indeed, but as we get a look at our stats through the first round, Stephen Quirk, I believe he had a 945 after the first round last year, a 955 this time out, which is mind-boggling. A 955 save percentage is absolutely absurd. You got to look at the first line again. He might have been a minus player, but Andrei Svechnikov is a postseason beast. 6 points so far, 5 for Nolan Patrick, 2 for Ross Winquist, now that he's up on the top line. Pierre Lalonde with 3 points this postseason, same for Rudy Yell. 4 points for Torsten Johansson. Wojciechowski, of course, with a huge goal in that first series. Zontag, we might have to trade. He has absolutely no discipline. He has a 75 rating, but 16 penalty minutes in 5 games, man? Come on. You're killing us here. You are killing us. Defensively, I'll just breeze through it really quick. Just to get you guys a look, Ken Janes was a monster in that first round. Unfortunately for us, no Yuri Khudobin as we begin this series. But again, it's a chance at revenge and a chance to make it past the second round for the first time. But we have to take it one game at a time. We start this series on the road. The mission, win one of these first 2 games. That is the goal. Let's see if we can get it done. First period here of game 1, and that is a good start. Ben Dexter, the opening goal. I didn't take a look at the Islanders lineup. We'll do that in a minute. I apologize for that. Again, pretty tired, but you know, it is what it is. Second period, and we kept the lead. Ahonen made it. Well, it would be Ahonen. Yeah, Ahonen. I don't know, it just sounds kind of weird. I'm sorry. It does. Michael Brodzinski, I'm at least assuming that was, him. It might have been someone else with a randomly generated name. But regardless, we have the 2-1 series lead, or the 2-1 lead in the game. Not in the series. That would be nice. Especially after the Islanders absolutely spanked us. Although I think that series, the first time we made it to the postseason, made it 6 games. Or maybe it was 5. All I remember is we lost like 7-0 in the first game. 5 minutes to go here in game 1. Can we hold on? Yes, we can. Andrei Svechnikov gets another one. The empty netter. And the Caps, with 1 goal in each period, win game 1 by the score of 3-1. Stephen Quirk, you beast. You absolute monster. My God, if he keeps playing at this level, something special could really happen for us this time out. Now, Yuri Khudobin not projected back unless we go to 6 games. So that's interesting. Let's take a look, though, at the Islanders lineup after I forgot to. In the, or a few moments ago before game 1. 92, 89, and 94 for ratings. So I'm kind of happy we managed to outscore them 3-1 in game 1. And, of course, we reached our goal. We took one of the first 2 games on the road. Let's take a look here at this team. They have Maxime Comtois on the top line with Casey Middlestott and Shannon Hale, who was a second-round pick in 2021. Sam Steele is with Ryan Poling and Tyler Boland. On the third line, you have Teuvo Teravainen, Benoit Guru, and Justin Bailey. The fourth line, Garrett Pylon, with Isaac Ratcliffe and Jacques Durette, a defenseman. Playing forward at the moment, you would assume that's due to injury. You got to look at the defense. Danny Ritchie with Timothy Liljegren. Urho Vakanainen, I have no idea, with Michael Brodzinski, in fact. And Vince Dunn is on the third pairing with Franklin Byers. The goaltender is Tommy Ninima. Ninima? How much emphasis do you put on the I's? I know we got Finnish viewers here. You guys will let me know. I don't care, because hopefully I don't have to say that name ever again. Ilya Samsonov is the backup. Indeed, there is an injury to Vyacheslav Arkhipov. That explains it. Connor Hall is the other healthy scratch. That would be incorrect. He is the only healthy scratch. All right, Game 2. Game 2 here in Brooklyn. I doubt the Islanders will still be in Brooklyn in 2030, but you never know. Game 2. Can we somehow... I'd consider it an upset just to win the first 2 games of the series. No doubt about that. First period is scoreless. So that's anticlimactic, but outshot them 10-4. I consider that a win for the Islanders, considering they didn't give up a goal. Second period, this time each of us have given up a goal. Tyler Boland had the opening goal, and then with 7 seconds left, who else? Andrei Svechnikov stepping up in the absence of Yuri Khudobin. He ties this game. Let's go. Third period, a huge 20-minute time frame for this franchise. We killed off that penalty. We have a power play of our own with 10 minutes to go. Trading power plays with the Islanders. And we get the goal. Oh my God, Svechnikov, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Can we hold on? Minute and a half to go. Is that enough? Yes, it is. I wish I wasn't so tired and that I had more energy, because I rightfully should be jumping up and down, just losing my mind. I can't even think of the words. I can't even think of the analogy. Andrei Svechnikov is playing at an Evgeny Malkin-like level as far as playoff production. It is insane what he is doing for this team. Absolutely incredible. And because of him and others, Stephen Quirk definitely included, we have a 2-0 series lead on the New York Islanders. Unfortunately, no Yuri Khudobin, so we'll jump right into it. Game 3 on home ice. What a moment this would be if we can win this game. First period. Oh my God. Nolan Patrick. And who else? Who else? Andrei Svechnikov. 2-0 at the end of the first period. Second period, Zontag with the goal. Talked about maybe taking him out of the lineup. Nope. Not if you're going to score goals at a time like this. It's a 3-0 lead as we begin the third period. 20 minutes away from a 3-0 series lead. Ben Dexter makes it 4. Oh my God. I can't get excited. I cannot. Until the series is over, I refuse. But what a performance in Game 3. The 33 save shutout for Stephen Quirk. 4-0 final. Oh my God. 2.9 for Patrick and Svechnikov. You may have noticed I didn't talk about this as we lose Christian Ahonen, which is unfortunate. I didn't talk about this. Hold on, let me just focus here. Harrison or Gagne? Harrison, not too bad. Gagne, not too bad. Let's go with Harrison. Looks to be the best guy for the job. Of course, we don't have to worry about waivers right now either. Alright, so best lines. It puts Dexter on the third line, which is a good call. I didn't talk about it, but I did change Cork to a hybrid. Now, of course, as a stand-up goalie, he still managed to develop into an elite-level goaltender, but I switched him to a hybrid, and he has a .962 save percentage through 8 games. Just saying. Unreal. We are 1 game away. 1 game away. And I know, I can't get excited because of what's happened before. But we are so close to making it out of the first round for the first time. Will Yuri Khudobin be healthy for this game? No, he will not. So we go into war without him. Game 4. We are 60 minutes away from making it to the third round for the very first time. First period. 2 goals. All right, a 2-1 lead. Zontag with the opening goal. Comtois tied it, and then Rudy Yell restores the lead. 2-1 at the end of the first period. Zontag really stepping up, by the way. I guess he didn't like the idea of me trading him. Second period. Oh my God, boys. Oh my God. Wojciechowski. 2 goals. 4-1 lead. Let's go. Third period. Come on. Come on. We are 20 minutes away from sweeping the Islanders. Benoit Giroux makes it a 2-goal game. Power play for the Islanders is killed off. We are 10 minutes away from sweeping the Islanders and making it to the third round, to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time. Comtois makes it 4-3. I am nearly shitting myself out of fright. But it's over. It is over. I wish I wasn't tired. I really wish I wasn't so tired. I'd be doing cartwheels right now. For the first time in this series, the Washington Capitals are on to the Eastern Conference Final. After sweeping a team that previously embarrassed us in the New York Islanders. Christian Ahonen should be fully healthy. Yuri Khudobin will be fully healthy. And the question is, who's it going to be? Will it be the Pittsburgh Penguins? That's my question. That's my concern. Will it be the Penguins, and how fitting would that be to have a rematch, this time in the Eastern Conference Final? Let's find out. Still no answer. Wow, our series ended nearly a week. Man, it's going to be a week to the day since our series ended. And it's Detroit, the Red Wings, dispatch of the Penguins. I'm not shedding a tear. I'll take it. We don't have to play Pittsburgh. We're halfway home, and we get to play the Detroit Red Wings in the Eastern Conference Final. All right, I do want to take a look. It went 7. It went 7. Wow. Minnesota and Arizona. From the Western Conference Final. Wow. All right, well, before I forget, of course, we need to get the lineup set up. Yuri Khudobin is back. I didn't think we'd get to say that at all. Also, Ahonen is back. So the question is, who do we drop out of the lineup? Because Dexter has 3 points. He's done pretty well. Schroeder has 2 points. Conley has 2 points. So somebody has to go. I mean, it should probably be Grant Schroeder that stays in. Statistically, he looks to be a bit better. He's not as good defensively as Dexter. Tough to say. Really tough to say. I don't know, I might send down Schroeder. You know what, let me send down Harrison, right? Because we know for a fact he's being sent down. We'll go back, we'll do best lines, and we'll see who the game takes out of the lineup. And indeed, there he is. It takes Grant Schroeder out. Yuri Khudobin, though, back on the top line. Oh my God. Oh my God, this could be a very special season for us. It's already a special season for us. We are making those steps. Eliminated in the first round, eliminated in the second round. This year we might be eliminated in the third round, but you know what? At least we made it. We are making that progression slowly but surely. Now it's time to see, is it our time now? That's the question. With the top line like that, I mean, the top 6 is looking decent, guys. mainly out of nowhere because of the progression of Yell and Lalonde. The third pairing isn't awful. I mean, the depth, as far as overall-wise, it's not great. But it might be good enough. That's all I'm saying. And if Steven Quirk keeps playing, he has a .956 save percentage. If he keeps playing to this level, to this high of standard, we have a shot. We also have home ice advantage against the Red Wings, something I did not expect. Guys, we are 8-1 in this postseason. Let's go. Game 1 of the, let me say it one more time, the Eastern Conference Final. Let's go. First period is scoreless. Outshot them 14-5. Second period, and there's the opening goal. It's Combs. I didn't look at their lineup again. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. It's my bad. But we have the lead heading into the third period. Early power play opportunity. We can't do anything with it. We had them doubled up in shots, though, as that power play expired. We get another opportunity that, again, we can't do anything with. Who needs the power play, though? Artem Manulin with the goal. It's a 2-0 lead with 5 minutes to go. Is that enough? And, I mean, come on, let's be honest. With Steven Quirk in goal, you bet your ass it's enough. I won't get cocky next time. Luke Kunin ruins the shutout, but I don't care. The Capitals keep on rolling. It's a 2-1 victory in Game 1. Devin Walton, their goaltender, was the first star of the game. Quirk, in fairness, had a .960 save percentage. Manulin with the GWG. And we have the early lead in this series. Let's take a look at the Red Wings lineup before I forget once again. 91, 96, and 91 for ratings. I am very intrigued to see their defense. Very much so. What do we have here? Top line of Julien Gauthier with Blake Spears and Scott Combs, the 17th overall pick in 2019. 91 overall. We have Brendan Lemieux with Luke Kunin and Roman Hawk, the 28th overall pick in 2021. You have Dennis Yan with Mitch Stevens and Sergei Ovechkin, a 4th round pick for them, not too long ago. Well, actually, at this stage, that was about 10 seasons ago, wasn't it? Nikita Kucherov, 80 overall, with Noah Rod and Jake Virtanen. 33-year-old Jake Virtanen. All right. On defense, yeah, I can see why it has a pretty high rating. 90 overall Hayden Fleury with 92 overall Cal Foote. 92 overall Oli Ulevi with Evan Bouchard. And then Louis Machias with Marek Kudrock. Right, that's a pretty damn good defense. The goaltender, 87 overall Devin Walton. They have Hunter Miska, who I added to the game. Obviously, that's why he's in there. But Hunter Miska is the backup. Scratched players, you have Ludwig Bystrom, Sasha Chmelevski, and Ruslan Zuzin. Right. I can see why they've made it this far. Not too hard to see why. But against the Capitals team, which, by the way, we have them best, or, even in offense, they have the better defense. We have the better goaltending. Who's to say just how exactly this series is going to go? But it is time for Game 2. Let's find out, shall we? Let's find out. First period of Game 2. And there's the opening goal. It's Yuri Khudobin. He is back and ready to make an impact here for this team. Second period. Who else? Yes, I know, Luke Kunin brought it back to within 1. Andrei Svechnikov. Oh my God, what a monster. He should win the Conn Smythe even if we don't go to the final. That's how good he has been. We have a power play here, an extended power play that we couldn't do anything with. And then, of course, Blake Spears ties it, and then Luke Kunin strikes again. All right, we still have time to fix this situation. 5.5 to go. Can we get on the board, please? Well, that didn't exactly go how I thought it would. I'm sure you're right there with me. Wow, what a third period. Steven Quirk looks human for the first time in this postseason. Blake Spears, Luke Kunin, and Jake Virtanen with the goals. And we have ourselves a tied series and victory for Detroit so far. they managed to neutralize our home ice advantage by winning one of the first 2 games. And now we head to Detroit for Game 3, the old Little Caesars Arena. Let's do this. First period is scoreless. Second period, and there's a familiar situation. Rudy Jan ties it up. And then the reincarnation of Evgeny Malkin, even though they're alive at the same time. 2-1 lead for the Caps once again as we begin the third period. Will it be a different story this time out? I certainly hope so. Jake Virtanen just scored again. Right. Okay. Not good. Not good. 5 minutes to go. Next goal will more than likely win this game for their team. Are we going to overtime? Yes, we are. Wow. So Jake Virtanen on the 4th line doing damage for the Wings. Overtime. Let's go. Who will take the lead in this series? Power play for the Red Wings. It's an extended one. It's killed off. All right. Halfway through overtime. Power play for the Caps. Nothing happening. 5 minutes to go, and it's Yuri Khudobin. Yuri gets the GWG. Welcome back, buddy. And the Capitals bounce back. 45 saves for Steven Quirk. And we have the 2-1 series lead. I do want to see, though, who took the pen in overtime. It was a double minor high sticking call on Rudy Yell. Which, fun fact, I found out his player model's black. That's the one thing I never really notice. That always happens during cup celebrations. And there was that one series where, I think it was a Bruins series on NHL 16, where we had this player for like a decade. And then we finally went in and watched the cup celebration. And yeah, he was black. Which, I mean, hey, who cares, right? Good hockey player. But, yeah. I mean, because there's no indication, obviously. So, I mean, you never know unless you actually play a game with the team or watch the cup celebration, which we haven't done either yet. But anyway, it is time for Game 4. What will happen, who knows, but it's time to find out. First period of Game 4 and the opening goal for Julien Gauthier. Right, the fact they're running down by 1 after being outshot 12-5, not too bad. Second period, Nolan Patrick ties it, beautiful, and that sets up the third. Let's go. Can the Red Wings tie this series, or will the Caps find themselves with a 3-1 lead? Ola Eriksson, Nolan Patrick, 3-1, halfway through the third period. 5 minutes to go. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. The Washington Capitals are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final. Steven Quirk should the Vezina and the Conn Smythe, for that matter, should, well, hold on. No, the Vezina can be renamed after Quirk. The Conn Smythe can be renamed after Andrei Svechnikov. We are 1 win away. 3 chances. 3 opportunities, an 11-2 record so far this postseason. Game 5 on home ice with a chance to seal our spot in the Stanley Cup final for the first time in this series. Let's go. First period, and it's a goal apiece. Nolan Patrick, the opening goal. Luke Kunin gets the Red Wings on the board. Second period, Nikita Kucherov. Unfortunately, that 4th line doing damage for the Wings. He gets the goal. 2-1 lead for Detroit as we begin this third period. It all comes down to this. 3 opportunities to steal our spot. Can we make the most of it on the first attempt? Under 8 minutes to play. Can we find that goal, or will the Wings force Game 6? Yes, they will. Wow, a shutdown performance for the Detroit goaltender, whose name escapes me. It's Devin Walton. Quirk did his job. We just could not best Devin Walton in Game 5. For the second time in this series, Detroit wins in Washington. Game 6. Let's jump right into it, guys. Let's go. I'm a little bit anxious now, of course. Game 6. Here we go. First period. Oh, no. Let's not do this again, please. Please no. Julien Gauthier and Evan Bouchard, the 2 goals. Second period. You know something? I'm just hitting the B button, guys. It's over. Yeah, we got shut out 5-0. 5-0 shutout victory for Detroit in Game 6. Walton with 28 saves. And a 3-1 series lead has evaporated. It goes to the decisive Game 7. The Golden State Warriors, the Washington Capitals. Oh, God. Minnesota have already sealed their spot in the Stanley Cup Final. Oh, my God. What the hell did we do? The lineup just pretty much has to stay the same. I'm going to go best lines again to see if it changes anything. It doesn't. Oh, boy. This is not good. That's an understatement. Oh my God, what the fuck did we do here? This is brutal. Conley and the other guy have been doing pretty well. I'm gonna make the fourth line the new third line. Let's swap those around. Defensively, Wheating and Janes have been pretty disappointing. Second pairing's done well. Third pairing has also done pretty well. Let's see, what can we do here? What can we do? Let's make Manulin and Eriksson the third pairing. Let's have Wheating with Moroza, Combs with Janes. And we have to hope for the best. Stephen Quirk. 1 game. It truly comes down to this. We had a 3-1 series lead in the conference final. Game 7 starts now. On home ice. First period. Oh, thank God. All right, that helps. That helps quite a bit. Andrei Svechnikov and Johansson with the goals. We got to Walton early. Second period. Oh my God. Rudy Yell made it 3-0. Gauthier and Kunin bring Detroit back to within 1. We only have 15 shots in the game thus far. That is abysmal. But we have the lead. It all comes down to the final 20. Here we go. Who's going to the Stanley Cup Final? Who will face the Minnesota Wild for Lord Stanley's Cup? A power play for the Caps. A long one that we could do nothing with. 9 minutes to go. Can we hold on? Can Stephen Quirk shut the door to send Washington to the Stanley Cup Final? Yes, he can! Oh my God. It's taken 12 or 13 years. I have no idea how long. We survive. We avoid disaster. And we are going to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in this series. Unbelievable. We will play the Minnesota Wild for the Stanley Cup. It's taken so long. It is May 2030. And we are off to the Stanley Cup Final. We'll take a look at some stats here. Start off with the goaltending. Stephen Quirk, a .943 save percentage, which is absurd. The top line, Andrei Svechnikov, 17 points. Same for Nolan Patrick. Yuri Khudobin with 7 points since he's returned. Lalonde with 9 assists, 9 points for Yell. Only 3 for Ross Winquist. You could argue maybe swapping him with someone like Ahonen or Ben Dexter. Tough to say for sure, but I'll get you a look at the rest of the team. Maybe not Dexter, maybe not Ahonen for that matter, but we could figure something out. You could even argue giving Zontag the ice time. You could argue giving him the ice time. I'm looking at the stats right now. He's not the best playmaker. Ahonen might not be terrible. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And you might be saying to yourself, Toogie, what do you mean, let me know what you think? Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, guys, that will do it for this one. We will play, or we won't play, but we will sim through the Stanley Cup Final in the next episode. It's a big enough occasion that it will finally be its own separate video. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this episode of Draft to Glory. Of course, we'll take a look at Minnesota before we play them in the next round. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comment section. And like I said, this video, my energy might not have been as high. It's been an interesting day for me. I'm pretty damn tired, but I still wanted to get this video done for you guys, and I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, of course, make sure to hit that like button to help support the video and the channel. It is greatly appreciated. We just passed 800,000 combined views. There is a very realistic chance that I'll hit 1 million views sometime soon. I mean, maybe by the end of the year, maybe sooner. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I thank you for that. And of course, we're getting so close to the 5K goal, but 300 some odd people away, which again is pretty damn crazy. I will say too, if you have, I will say, Rebuilding Hockeytown and Nation United, they'll be back soon. My schedule's been really screwed. Of course, make sure to check out Matthews vs. Line and Borks Battalion if you haven't already. Make sure to check out the Sedin Twins video. The giveaway will be, the winners will be determined on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. So if you haven't entered for either the YouTube giveaways or the Twitter giveaway, you still have time to do so. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it, guys. So if you haven't already, of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. You can also join the notification squad. Follow me on Twitter, Toogie24, and all that fun stuff. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Draft to Glory.